In this special video, I'll tell you why the way you drink water can affect your health more than you think. I'll explain how a few simple changes can transform your well-being and bring significant improvements to your daily life. You'll be amazed at the latest discovery, as it could completely change the way you think about water. But before we begin, I want you to pay close attention to this story, as it will be very important in understanding the big lesson in this video. In the high mountains of the Himalayas, there lived a sage hermit known for his profound wisdom and incredible longevity. His teachings attracted seekers from all over the world, but few managed to reach him because of the arduous journey. One day, a young adventurer named Ethan decided to climb a mountain in search of the sage's instructions. The journey was long and treacherous. Ethan faced steep cliffs, icy winds, and doubts. After days of grueling climbing, he finally reached the sage's cave. Exhausted and thirsty, the young man immediately grabbed a flask he found in the cave and began drinking the water in large gulps. The wise man named Harold, noticing this, smiled and said, "Young man, I see you came here looking for wisdom, but you don't even know how to drink water." Ethan asked in surprise how it was possible that there was a wrong way to drink water. The sage replied, "Ah, my young friend, that is why so many people suffer in vain. Water is life, but it must be respected and used wisely. For example, think of the marathon runner who faints due to dehydration, a stark reminder that improper water consumption can lead to dire consequences. Conversely, sensible water consumption has helped many people improve digestion, energy levels, and overall health by demonstrating its transformative potential. Drinking water doesn't make anyone sick, but improper water consumption can cause many diseases of the body. For example, drinking large amounts of water quickly can overload the digestive system, leading to problems such as acid reflux or abdominal bloating as the stomach does not have time to process the incoming food. Inadequate hydration can lead to kidney problems such as stone formation, as insufficient water intake reduces the kidney's ability to effectively eliminate toxins. Similarly, chronic dehydration can cause symptoms such as constant headaches and fatigue, as the brain and muscles rely heavily on proper hydration for optimal functioning. Improper water intake can also weaken the body's natural defenses over time. Intrigued, Ethan asked, "But what exactly does it mean to drink water improperly?" Harold explained, "One of the most common mistakes is to drink a lot of water at one time, especially during or right after a meal." Before we delve into the first habit, if you found value in these videos, subscribe and click the bell to stay in the loop. This seemingly harmless habit can have unexpected consequences for our bodies. When we flood the body with more water at one time, we dilute the gastric juice that is necessary for proper digestion. This can lead to a variety of consequences, from incomplete absorption of nutrients to chronic digestive discomfort. In addition, drinking cold water with meals can extinguish the digestive fire, making digestion even more difficult, Harold explained. Ethan nodded, showing he understood. Harold continued, "You've probably heard the myth that every person needs exactly 8 glasses of water a day. That's like saying that all gardens need the same amount of watering. That myth is many years old, but the reality is much more interesting." Harold picked up a fallen leaf and held it in front of Ethan. Just as each leaf is unique, each organism has different hydration needs depending on weight, fitness, climate, and even diet. Ethan interrupted and asked, "But how do I know how much water I really need?" Harold smiled and replied, "Great question. The key is to listen to your body, not just your thirst. Your urine is a great indicator. If it's light yellow, it means you're well hydrated. If it's dark, you need more water. However, some foods, such as beets or carrots, and medications can change the color of your urine without indicating your hydration level. So keep these factors in mind when assessing your hydration level. Your body is like an orchestra. Each organ is an instrument that needs a certain amount of water to play harmoniously. For example, the kidneys need water to effectively filter and excrete waste, and the brain needs hydration to stay focused and prevent fatigue. Similarly, the skin depends on water to stay supple and glowing, and the digestive system needs it to process food efficiently. Each part of the body works in unison, and adequate hydration ensures that each tool is working at its best. Excessive water intake can be just as harmful as inadequate water intake. Ethan, intrigued, asked, "Is it true that coffee and tea dehydrate the body?" Harold replied, "That's a myth. The effect these beverages have is to fully hydrate the body. However, the best option is still water." Harold continued, "Research from the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine shows that men need about 3 liters of fluid per day, and women need 2.2 liters. But remember that this amount includes water found in the foods we consume. Think of hydration as a gentle dance. Too much water can dilute electrolytes in the blood, and too little can cause fatigue and concentration problems. The trick is to find the perfect balance, Ethan exclaimed, as if every glass of water is a big decision. Harold laughed and said, "Don't stress so much. Your body is wise. If you drink when you're thirsty and stick to a balanced diet with lots of fruits and vegetables, you'll be on the right track." To emphasize his point, Harold led Ethan outside the cave where a small creek flowed down the mountainside. "Look at this creek," Harold said. "It flows gently but evenly. Just as the creek feeds the environment at a steady pace, drinking water consistently throughout the day ensures optimal absorption by the body. Hastily drinking large amounts of water at one time is like a flash flood. It overloads the system and leads to inefficiency. It nourishes the soil around it without overloading it, ensuring the soil absorbs every drop for sustainable growth. This is how you should drink water, smoothly, not in streams, so that your body can efficiently utilize each sip without being overwhelmed." Harold then shared another secret, talking about the ideal time to drink water. When you wake up, drink 1 or 2 glasses of water. It's like dusting off your stomach. Physiologically, this practice jump-starts your metabolism, revitalizes your body after an overnight fast, and helps flush out toxins that have accumulated overnight, preparing your digestive system for the day ahead. Drinking water on an empty stomach helps flush out toxins and prepares the digestive system for the day. Before each meal, drink a glass of water, but not immediately. Do it about 15 minutes before you eat. This kind of alerts your stomach food is on its way. Drinking water before meals helps control appetite and prepares the digestive system to process food more efficiently. Harold also cautions against drinking water immediately after a meal. Let at least an hour pass before drinking more. Imagine you have just started a fire to cook a meal. If you spill water on it, what will happen? It will go out. The same thing happens to the gastric juices in your stomach. They are like fire working hard to digest food. If you dilute them with water, you can slow down the process. Nutritionists recommend not drinking a lot of water right after a meal because it can dilute the stomach acid and make digestion more difficult. And when the sun goes down, drink some water, but not too much. We don't want to spend the night in the bathtub, do we? Harold concluded by saying, "Water is your friend, but it requires respect. It's not about drowning your body, it's about drinking at the right time." Ethan, struck by the depth of these seemingly simple admonitions, realized that this lesson went far beyond simply quenching his thirst. Harold smiled understandingly and said, "Such is life, my young friend. There are often deeper truths behind the simplest things. When faced with difficulties, don't fight back stiffly. Be as flexible as water, and you will forge new paths. Even the strongest rock is formed by the persistence of water." Inspired and enlightened, Ethan vowed to implement these lessons into his life, realizing that every drop of water he drank was an opportunity to connect to the wisdom of nature and the rhythms of life. As Ethan prepared to descend the mountain, Harold handed him a small journal and said, "Record your experiences as you put these lessons into practice. For example, you might write about how drinking water before meals helps control your appetite, or how starting your day with water increases your energy level. You can also track specific results daily, such as noting changes in energy, digestion, or mood, to better understand the impact of these practices over time. You'll find that water teaches not only health but also patience, adaptability, and balance. Come back to me one day and share what you have learned." With a heart full of gratitude and a mind brimming with knowledge, Ethan went downstairs, ready to transform his life one sip at a time. Ethan decided to share these teachings with others, incorporated them into his daily routine, and witnessed profound changes in his own life. He noticed that his energy, concentration, and overall mood increased, and even his skin seemed to glow with health. Reflecting on Harold's words, Ethan felt a new connection to the simple but profound wisdom of respecting and understanding the role of water in life. Encouraged by this change, he began diligently keeping a journal, tracking his hydration habits and how they affected his daily activities. A few months later, Ethan returned to the mountains with journal in hand, ready to share his journey with Harold. The wise man listened intently, smiling at Ethan's growth and insight. Harold concluded their meeting with one last piece of advice. "Remember, my young friend, water is not just for survival, it is a guide to a harmonious life. Incorporate its lessons into your actions and decisions, and you will find balance not only in health, but in life itself." With these words resounding in his heart, Ethan left the mountains determined to live and share the wisdom of water.